You know that feeling when someone walks into your life and it feels like the universe just aligned? They see you. They adore you. You've never felt this loved before. But slowly, something shifts. You start doubting yourself, your memory, your worth, even your sanity. They say they love you, but their love feels like walking on broken glass. You tell yourself it's just a rough patch, that it'll go back to how it was at the beginning. But it doesn't. And even when the pain outweighs the joy, you stay. Why? That's the question we're answering today. Why people stay with narcissists, and the devastating psychological cycle that traps even the strongest minds. If you're drawn to dark psychology, stories of love turned toxic, emotional abuse, and how the human mind gets entangled in manipulation, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and let's dive deep into the mind games of the narcissist. The term narcissism comes from Greek mythology, from Narcissus, the man who fell in love with his own reflection that he couldn't look away from himself long enough to love anyone else, and that's exactly what defines the modern narcissist. In psychology, narcissistic personality disorder describes individuals with a grandiose sense of self-importance, a need for admiration, and a lack of empathy for others. But here's the thing, most narcissists don't appear like villains at first. They're charismatic, intelligent, magnetic. They draw you in with warmth, attention, and the intoxicating illusion of perfect love. Underneath, though, lies fragility, a deep, hidden insecurity that they will do anything to protect. Their ego is a glass house, fragile but fiercely guarded. The slightest criticism feels like a threat, and they defend against it not by reflection, but by attack, projection, and control. The relationship becomes less about love, and more about power. Signs of a narcissist. You'll know them not by how they enter your life, but by how they make you feel once they're inside it. At first, there's love bombing. They overwhelm you with affection. Messages all day, grand gestures, words like "you're my soulmate, I've never felt this way before." It's not just romance, it's idealization. You're placed on a pedestal so high, you can't see the ground. Then comes the subtle control. They start commenting on your choices, your clothes, your friends, but it's always disguised as care. "I just don't want you to get hurt. You're better than them." You don't see it as isolation. Not yet. Then the gaslighting begins. They twist reality so subtly that you start doubting yourself. "I never said that. You're overreacting. You always remember things wrong." By now, you're in deep. You crave the version of them from the beginning, the one who made you feel special. But that version was never real. It was bait. If any of this sounds familiar, pause right here, take a breath. And remember, confusion isn't love. It's manipulation. If this resonates, hit subscribe, because what comes next is where psychology meets survival. So, why do intelligent, self-aware people stay in relationships like this? Psychologists point to a dangerous form of attachment called trauma bonding. A deep emotional bond formed through repeated cycles of abuse and reward. Think of it like this: every cruel outburst is followed by affection. Every period of silence ends in apology. Your brain starts to link the pain with relief. The dopamine hits come not from love, but from escaping punishment. It's the same neurological loop that drives addiction. Dr. Patrick Carnes, who coined the term trauma bonding, explains it as emotional captivity. You become addicted to the hope that love will return, the hope that this time they'll change. Then there's cognitive dissonance, the mental tug-of-war between knowing something is wrong and needing to believe it's right to survive the contradiction. The mind bends truth, they're just stressed. "It's my fault. They didn't mean it." Each rationalization keeps you in place a little longer. It's not weakness, it's conditioning, a slow rewiring of your self-worth, built on praise, punishment, and the illusion of love. This is the narcissistic abuse cycle, and it keeps victims trapped for years. Step 1. Idealization. The start, it's a fairy tale. You're seen, adored, worshipped. The narcissist mirrors your every dream. It's not love, it's possession wrapped in poetry. Step 2. Devaluation. Then, slowly, the warmth cools. They criticize more. Withdraw affection. You start working harder, trying to get back to how it was. You change your behavior, your tone, your needs, just to keep the peace. Step 3. Discard. When you're at your most fragile, they leave. Cold. Detached. Sometimes they vanish, sometimes they find someone new overnight. You're left broken, confused, craving closure that will never come. Step 4. Hoovering. Then, just as you begin to heal, they return a text. A memory. A promise. "I've changed." And because the pain was so deep, any sign of affection feels like oxygen. The moment you respond, the cycle restarts. Each loop weakens your sense of self a little more. You begin to measure love by how much you can endure, instead of how safe you feel. And that's how they win. Not through force, but through your hope. Maybe people don't stay with narcissists because they love them. Maybe they stay because they're still trying to love the version of themselves that person reflected back. That's the cruelest trick of all. The narcissist doesn't just take your love, they take your reflection. Your sense of who you are. and to leave them means confronting the loss of yourself. But healing begins when you stop waiting for them to change, and start remembering who you were before they convinced you that you weren't enough. If you've ever loved someone who made you question your sanity, know this: you are not broken. You were conditioned to believe that love must be earned through pain. Real love does not make you doubt your worth, it makes you remember it. If you found value in this video, like, share, and subscribe for more explorations into the hidden corners of human psychology. From manipulation and dark persuasion to gaslighting, obsession, and toxic love. Because understanding the darkness is how we reclaim the light.